Okay, you're there. You do it. Okay, cool. So you play mainly Pharah here and then some Genji? Okay. We'll look at the Pharah a little bit briefly, and we'll look at the Genji as well. Okay, so this one's definitely one that's going to challenge you a lot more. So this is where a lot of what we talked about is really going to come into play here, mainly because they have 3 characters that can really threaten you. So when you have characters like this that can really threaten you, you have to be very patient and constantly make it uncomfortable for the enemy. So like the best way to do that is typically you're playing around these high ground natural cover. So you're flying up here, you're playing line of sight, you can get occasional spam over the rooftops or around, but you're never flying away from cover in open space for like very long at all. You want to go from one cover to the next using your concussion and your movement to make sure that you're never peeking any of these long sight lines. This long sight line, you just gonna die. What's up, Bob Waffle? So you're gonna be under an immense amount of pressure, but at the same time, the opponents are under a very high amount of pressure to deal with you. And if you can find a situation where, you know, these people have to get into uncomfortable situations as the cart moves, you can get them into really uncomfortable situations. Go for isolated pickoffs on them. So like, let's say we're playing on this high ground right here. Like let's say we're playing around here and the cart comes around the corner. If there's a Widow that's taking that this angle over here alone, this is an example of someone that you can concussion blast over to and threaten and try to dive bomb. Once they're dead, then you play passive again. You go back to this high ground. You get like really, you know, it's going from, think of this as like an isolated position where your goal mainly is just spamming and living. You're not really going for anything until the opponents are in a certain position, and then you go for a play. I'm late. Someone let me copy their notes. What's up, Brave? Don't do that. Ow. This is gold. Okay, yeah. So like, yeah, like, no. Okay. All right, let's. What did we say? What was the first thing that we talked about in the last VOD, Jordan? So the first thing we talked about was that you need to figure out if your Mercy or your supports are able of enabling you and what they're willing to do. You're doing with the Mercy, so that's not a problem. But the exact second thing we talked about was threat identification, right? We need to identify what threats we're going up against before we do anything that could get us killed. Yeah. You simply cannot be peeking the spawn and gathering information when you could die instantly. If you do, you have to do it very precisely. And oftentimes it's far better for you to like peek it over rooftops or wait for your team to gather that information for you, because your Ramattra can find out what you're up against without dying instantly. Leaving the lurk. Have a good stream, Dad. What's up, 8 Second? We need to catch up sometime soon, man. Thank you. I'll talk to you later, man. Yeah, this is no bueno. This is not good. Living is first priority here. You might be able to get the res off. Okay, yeah, you get the res off, but now your Mercy's dead. So yeah, definitely, like, yeah, okay, yeah. This also, so several things that we got to talk about. So we made a series of mistakes that allowed this Widowmaker to basically kill us without actually being that good at all. So here, let's look at this from the Widow's point of view. Here, let's back this up. So if we back this up, let's back it up even more. Too soon. I mean, all they did is just walk out of spawn. They literally crab walked out of spawn. That was a very easy shot that they had to hit. And then they just stand here. Another easy shot. Another easy shot. Three easy shots back to back to back. And y'all are just completely destroyed. And so his hitting shots on still tarp. What? So yeah, anyways, I think that you kind of know what went wrong there, but let's move on. It can get really bad here because now going back into this space, so your team just completely loses this fight because y'all just died, right? Y'all are responsible for providing a ton of pressure. You're responsible for applying pressure to characters like this Ana as they push up. Even applying pressure, you know, you can go over and apply pressure to this Widowmaker. There's a lot of things that you're responsible for doing, and now that you're dead, now you have to retake the space once the team already has control. So this is something that is very hard to do against the Widowmaker. Something that you need to understand, that when you are here, let's look at this from the top-down perspective, and the reason why it's so punishing for you to die here. Yo, what's up, everyone? Sorry I haven't been able to make it to the streams. I've been busy at school. Hey, no worries, Radioactive. Welcome, welcome. We're doing a Pharah Genji VOD right now. So when they come out of spawn, they really only control this space, and they slowly push things along. And your team controls all of this space. And that's really, really great because a Pharah can play here. They can play along these rooftops. They can play here, back there, here. There's a lot of different spaces you can make, and you can make plays over the rooftops to contest certain angles that enemies have. Once y'all die and get reset here, y'all have like control of this space, but the Widow can control so much. The Widow can set up aggressively. They can play here. They can play here. They can go over here and flank that way. There's a million different angles that they can come from. It's so much harder to play around it now. Heavily limiting. So that's why it's like basically this is a mistake that is just completely, yeah. It's like a game throwing mistake, I would say. It's one thing if the enemy hits a shot that's hard. If the enemy hits a shot that's incredibly difficult to hit, like if they like grapple up and fucking shoot you when you're playing the rooftop, like sure. But that was just you're standing in front of spawn, like not even caring. Evil Lee, thank you so much for the follow. What's up? What's up? Okay, now we're on that Genji. We got lots of words for Genji, but let's see how things go. Okay. Yeah, so once again, we almost instantly die. We almost instantly die, and honestly, we could easily die here. So easily we could die here. This is gold. So there's a couple of things that we really did wrong here, Jordan. Already, there's like a ton of things that we did wrong, like right off the bat. Here, this is something that this is like a typical Genji move here. This is something that Genjis always do, where they do this. And so here's the best way to describe why this is typically please stop feeding. You have a mercy pocket. So the reason that this is almost always going to be the wrong play to make on Genji is because first we have to talk about like what is deflect? Like what is deflect even for? Chat. Can anyone answer me? What is deflect for? Why does Genji have deflect? What is it? What should Genji be using this for? An escape option. Yeah, it keeps you, it lets you escape. Meme on the Widow, right? And that's even though that's kind of a joke, meme on the Widow, that's something that a lot of Genjis play for. They play for the Widow headshotting themselves, right? They always play for the Widow to headshot themselves. But why is deflect used to escape and more consistent and reliable at being used for escaping, and not as reliable using it to like headshot a Widow or deflect a, let's say, a nade? Why is using it to survive more reliable than these things? And the reason that it comes down, what it ultimately comes down to is that these things you don't have any control over. The final say in these things you don't have control over. Yeah, you don't control how they move. You don't control if the Widow shoots you. You don't control if the Ana nades you. Now, sure, you can apply more pressure to make these things more of a reality, but at the end of the day, you do not control whether or not the Widow headshots herself. And sure, if the Widow just randomly headshots herself here, it might be a decent play, but what if she doesn't? What if she doesn't headshot herself? What did you do? You push forward, you use your deflect, you end up taking some extra damage, and did nothing else. So there's several things that you need to consider. The first thing that you need to consider is people are less likely to make mistakes into your deflect if they're under 0 pressure. So this Widowmaker behind her team, when her team's fully alive, very, very unlikely that they're going to do any of that. The second thing that you need to consider is that deflect is better used as a tool to keep you alive and enable your other aggressive plays, as opposed to using it to get some cheeky 1 in 10 random headshots. If you're going to go for plays like this, it needs to be paired with ample amounts of pressure, and it needs to be done in a situation where there's no cost. But the cost here is you literally almost die before your team is even here. There's the Widow's under no pressure. She's not going to make that mistake. I mean, just look at it from her point of view. Let's just look at this. Is this console? No, it's PC. No. If she did it, it's more of a misplay by them than a good play on you. 100%. Yeah. You get rewarded for playing against a bad Widow. But, like, these type of plays, these plays don't even work against the... Like, she literally even shot it. She literally even shot it. No. So far, this Widow has gotten rewarded greatly for not doing anything well. Like, she killed you because you gave her a free kill. She killed your Mercy because your Mercy rezzed in front of her. And then she killed you again because you had static movement. So you gave her 3 free kills. And now she almost killed herself into your deflect. And it wasn't like a reactionary thing. You were deflecting before she even peeked. She literally heard the sound and flicked up and shot. Maybe that's why you go for plays like this. But this type of play is never going to work against any better DPS. You can't play for playing against bad players. Like, it's just not gonna be conducive to climbing in the long run. Anyways, let's go back to you. Let's go back to playing out how this fight plays out right here. So we have no deflect right now. We're waiting. There's an orb there. We can't deflect the orb. We get shot by the Widow because we're peeking without our deflect. Deflect is trying to keep us alive, and we should be able to poke. And if we're under threat, we can deflect and back away. He plays far. Also, I watch flats. Nice. Once again, we're doing this again. We're doing this again. What are we doing? We're doing the same thing that we did the first time. And this one, the first one, it didn't punish you all that bad. You could have gotten punished, but it didn't. This second one is terrible. And the reason that the second one is terrible is because the card's about to push here. Y'all are about to have a team fight. And you want to go for a play. You want to create something. You want to poke. Poke here, poke here, poke here. And you want to have your deflect to keep you alive during your engages. If you dash aggressively at a cast, you want your deflect to save you if you don't kill the cast. Or even if you do kill the cast, you want to have your deflect to protect you as you back away from this Ana and this Widow. If you go for the Ana, you want to be able to have your deflect to protect you against the other hit scans. If you go for anyone, your deflect can protect you against Ryan swings as well. So if we think about it as something that is going to consistently allow us to stay alive longer and protect us, that allows us to be more aggressive with our regular play, because deflect will be something that does protect us. But now that we don't have it, we shouldn't even be going in until we have it. And that's a problem, because the fight's about to start, right? And then once again, we're playing for our opponents to just randomly headshot themselves. We have no control. These people are, one, not under any threat, so they're very unlikely to shoot themselves in the first place. Two, you can't be playing for something that you cannot control, and you're playing for it not once but twice. If you are in a duel with a Mercy, why not play Ashe or Sojourn? Anyways, yeah, that was just, I was just reading chat. I don't necessarily agree with that comment. I was just reading chat. Okay. So you're lucky that this went right for you, because here, let's back up here. Wait, did the Ana not even have sleep? Let me look at their Ana. So let me get this. Okay. So let me get this straight, chat. Look at this play from. This Ana has both sleep and nade and didn't use either of them on you? Hello? What? For what purpose? I just assumed that they didn't have it. But they definitely do have it. What? Okay. Okay. Hi, Coach. Seen some of your YouTube videos. I know it's a general question, but what's the top 3 DPS to work on as a new Overwatch player, not new to FPS? So for situations like yours, World, I always suggest Soldier. And the reason that I do suggest Soldier is because Soldier can allow you to experience Overwatch through the context of familiarity, which is Soldier, right? Because Soldier plays exactly like other FPS. You know, has a sprint, has like regular fire, can heal himself. So you play something that's kind of normal to you, but then you get to experience all these other elements. Of course, you could eventually move on from Soldier. I just think that to start off with, Soldier's like a generally decent pick. Show me the way, Coach. What's up, Longest DNA? And when the Genji left, she's like, okay, goodbye, see you later. Yeah, so the thing is, you engage. So this engage was good by you onto the Widowmaker. If we go here, this engage was actually good. However, if this Ana played correctly, this engage would have went really poorly. Even if you would have got this kill, you would have gotten traded out. Because you could have gotten slept or naded. And if we look at you, because of how you use your deflect, you don't have your deflect here if something goes wrong. And this is kind of the biggest problem that I have with you using deflect randomly. We saw you use it randomly over here. We saw it, you know, just for random situations. Because when you go for plays like this, you want to have your deflect as a tool that you can use to save you if things go wrong, or even if things go right, give you some form of out. You know, that's really what it is. Like, after you get this kill, let's look at how this happens. You get this kill. Like, at this health total, if you had deflect, you might even risk going for this Ana. You could dash through this Ana, turn around, shuriken, deflect as you walk back to this Mega, take the Mega, go back and kill her. Then you get a double kill. That's something that you can do, but you can't really risk that if you don't have your deflect. And you could have just instantly gotten slept or naded because you went in without it too. So the multiple factors that we have to consider here. This is what we call this is we're wasting resources pre-fight. That's what we're doing. And this could be true for any character. Double bubbling as Zarya before a fight starts. Having your shield broken as Rein. Throwing your sleep dart and your nade. Like, imagine if this Ana threw her sleep dart and nade like before the fight even started, and then once the fight started, she got dove by you and she didn't have her cooldowns. I have no idea why she didn't use her cooldowns now, but that's besides the point. It's just wasting your resources that you want to help your engages go smoothly. That's really what it is. Coach Mills, I discovered my drunk Zarya is the GOAT. Sheesh. Okay. 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 Let's back this up. Okay. We really got to talk about our target priority here. Let's back this up. Okay. So we're about to get our dash. So we'll have full health. We'll have our dash. So I know that you're trying to contest somewhat here, but your Ramatra's about to take your place. So as soon as your Ramatra does, you no longer have to contest anymore. But then after that, you need to have like a certain amount of target priority here. And you have none. So let's think about the characters that you could actually fight. You could actually just straight up kill this Ana. You could dive and try to pressure out this Cass. You can pressure this Mora. The only person that you really should not be shooting at is this Rein. And we have to ask ourselves, why can we not shoot this Rein? It's just because you're not doing any damage to this Rein. You're generating ultimate slower because tanks just generate your ultimate slower as their passive. You're not actually doing any definitive damage without harassing and dealing with the Rein supports. The Rein could just never die. So, and you have limited burst damage. So like you would rather apply it to this target, even these targets, as opposed to this Rein. Yeah, Ron, you got to win a game of marbles. I also do private coaching, but that's definitely a lot more in depth. But anyways. So yeah, we're still shooting at the Rein. We turn back to fight the Rein. We're still fighting the Rein. We're still shooting the Rein. Yep. We spent the entire fight fighting the Rein, basically. We did nothing else but shoot the Rein. That's all we did. And I want you to really take a look at how much damage you did to this Rein. Like, how close were you actually to killing this Ryan? Were you even close at all? You were never even close. Shiny rolling things. He's won. Yeah, dude, he's won. He's won. 1 health lost, more like. and if we assume that you were gonna lose that fight, because you did all your damage to the Rhine, look at how little ultimate charge you have. Every single person, like your Hanzo, your Ramatra, your Kiriko's above you, you know, you're very low. You're very low on ultimate. Very, very, very low. Here's a tip for getting out of gold: stop shooting the tank. God dang it. Nice, Junkrat. I love your tips. It's great. Okay, we're gonna watch one more fight, chat, and then we're gonna skip to the blade, and then we're gonna go do another VOD. Okay, real quick question right here. Yeah. Anyone, and if anyone has any questions, please ask. What if the team is pressuring the tank? So radioactive, the only time that you should be actually shooting the tank as a DPS is if they're killable. It seems pretty obvious, but it's true. And it's gonna be, and how do you decide if something is killable? And it's really about the tank's positioning. If this Rhine is around the corner right here, that Rhine's probably killable, right? It's probably a killable Rhine because they can't be actively healed. But as long as this Rhine is within line of sight of his supports, you will not be able to kill this Rhine unless the Rhine is getting ulted, the Rhine is antied, the Rhine is Discord and being targeted by lots of people. Those are the only times. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, effectively, you do way more damage to this Rhine if you actually put pressure on the supports. Like, if you force this Ana to back off, or you kill her, and you force this Mora to back off or kill her, that effectively will do way more damage to the Rhine because the Rhine doesn't get healed as much. Reverse Mord, thank you so much for the follow. Yo, Bills, could you put the rank of the VOD on the overlay, please? Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good idea. That's actually a good idea. Let me edit it right now. Okay, so we go, it's okay to shoot the tank with building ult, otherwise no. I mean, the thing, Hobbit, is actually, that's a big mistake that a lot of players make, is you really shouldn't be shooting the tank when you're trying to build ults, because you generate ult less. You should be still trying to deal damage to squishies. Now, if there's no squishies that you can see and you're spamming from distance, or you're shooting like spamming shurikens or shooting from distance, then sure, shoot the tank if you're shooting nothing else. But if you have line of sight to a squishy, you should almost always be shooting them, just because you generate ultimate more too. The pressure you put on them is going to force their position. Like, if a Rhine takes a little bit of damage, he's not going to move. But if an Ana takes a couple of shurikens to the face or even the body, that might be out of cooldown. That might make her back up. And even more importantly than that, you're building ult charge. So, yeah. The only decent blade I had was at the end. Do highly low obbies focus on tanks more? Dives? Focus on tanks more? No. They majority of the time they still try to get picks on supports and DPS. The only thing different about highly elo lobbies is they recognize when a tank is actually killable. And it's not just like oh, this tank is killable when the tank is not actually killable. Like, they try and recognize, like, when a tank is really out of position and weak. Yeah, I keep shooting the tank until I saw your recent DPS video. Yep. You could spend all day. And that's why a lot of people think that Orisa is, like, unkillable, which is true. But Orisa's typically should be the last kill. Like, Orisa should almost never be the person that you're targeting initially, because you can't kill her. You just can't do it. She has two damage mitigation abilities and a fucking aggressive CC with a ton of armor. Like, you're just never gonna kill them. Now I just do DPS and supports. Yep, ISO, low CD, low HP. The 3 rules when to engage. Yep. Yo, my man Mills dropping some great wisdom. What's up, MVC? Is this console PC? So you're playing tank. Is your job to trust your trash bronze DPS to do damage while you tank and not get healed? Or do you go in and trade with their backline and hope their tank doesn't 1v4 and kill your entire team? So that's going to really depend on what tank you're playing. Longest DNA. That's really going to depend on what tank you're playing. And oftentimes it's really gonna it's actually just a little too broad of a question because it's gonna be very matchup dependent. How you play on tank is gonna be very, very matchup dependent. Of course, on tank you want to make sure that you're staying alive, and sometimes you don't really want to peel all that much against the enemy tank. You just want to try to do more than the enemy tank, but it, like I said, it depends on the matchup. Sometimes you need a peel. Sometimes it's good to peel. It really depends. What's up, IT Heat cooking? What's up, man? We want a Mills presents Junkrat top tips YouTube short. Presents Junkrat's top YouTube tips. Honestly, I should look at all your comments and just look at them. As a Somberman, I canceled as an Orisa ult. While I'm with my tank before the nerf and they even left the game. I prefer to pressure tanks behind my tanks mostly. Interesting. Sombra's an interesting case though, because I actually do think that Sombra can threaten tanks, mainly because you can put them in a bad position when they weren't actually in a bad position before. I guess if that makes sense. Like, they're in a good position, but all of a sudden they can't do anything, and now they're in a bad position. She's a trap even when she gets so low. Here's another tip. Just shoot the DPS, because if both supports are pocketing each other, you're not going to kill them. And if the tank is with the enemy team, the tank will not die. I'm just playing RAM in that scenario. What's the program that you're using to draw on the screen? It's called Epic Pen. It's free. I have trouble pushing the first quarter against Sig/RAM with Junk/Genji with no hit scan gold tank. With Junk, Genji, and no hit scan. Pushing the first corner as Sync RAM. Wait, I'm a little confused on who is the Sig RAM on what team is on the Junk Genji. A little confused. Anyways, let's keep going. Okay. Once again, let's back this up. I feel like I'm gonna be repeating myself with a lot of the tips, but like honestly, I can see what you were going for, right? You were trying to reflect the fire strike. You're trying to reflect the orb. It's gonna help you generate ult charge. All that stuff is good. But something that you need to understand is if we use what we talked about before, when you do not have your deflect, you cannot get in effective range of enemy team's cooldowns because you could just die. You want to oftentimes poke from safety. Poke. Just keep your distance. Once you have your deflect, you can find a situation like what was said in chat. Isolated, low cooldowns, or low health is what you're really looking for. Going for these plays and using your deflect to get out and get to safety. So like right here, we go in. We're in the effective range of the enemy. Like this Kaz can just stick us. We have nothing to stop him from sticking us. We're in his effective range. The sticky grenade does 131 damage. You are just gonna die to that shit most of the time. You cannot get in his effective range. Don't even get me started about the fact that you can get slept or naded. Or you can get swung on by this Rhine. Right now we are brawling in the fight without any target, without anyone weak, without anyone isolated, and we don't have our deflect. We're just like, this is like, yeah. It's not it. If you're gold on tank, I'd love to tell you, but you're gold for a reason. Diamond, but I never play the game. I wonder if someone just hops into my chat and I read some comment like that and they think that I'm saying that. I'm just reading comments, chat. I should probably say person says. Yeah. So yeah, and I wanna make it. I don't want to be too hard on you. I know you just kind of just want a random VOD, Jordan. So I don't want to be too hard on you, but I do want to be realistic with how this game has gone so far. And if we just kind of think about how every fight has gone, the first fight your team lost it because you and the Mercy died. Y'all both fed. No understanding of where the spawns were. You didn't find your threats. You just died. So we threw that fight. We go into the next fight, and you actually get a kill on the Widow, which was pretty decent, even though you probably should have gotten punished for it. It was still good. But then the immediate next fight, you hard tunnel focus the only target that you can't do anything about. You can't pressure him. You can't kill him. You generate no ult charge, and we die there. And now going into this third fight, we enter the effective range of our opponent and are in an active brawl with no isolation, no low cooldowns, no one's low health. We don't have our deflect to keep us alive, and we just die for free. So we've lost effectively all of this part of the map. We probably will just lose this, and we haven't even gotten one blade off. So yeah, really important. This is kind of like these are like the same mistakes being repeated over and over again. Random VOD or honest VOD? Random VOD or honest VOD? Lol, it's not fun. Feels bad when everyone who doesn't play the game is higher ranked than me, being a real tryhard. Hey, Hobbit, don't worry about all that. Don't worry about all that. Everyone's on a different time frame. I felt the same way. When I was climbing, I felt the same way. I still feel that way. I feel like it's just everyone moves at a different rate, you know? Everyone moves at a different pace. It just kind of is what it is. Random. Also, every time I win a game, I type in match chat. I actually did decent at the end. Yeah. You could have done decent at the end, but like at this point, we've effectively thrown 4 fights. Anyways, let me fast forward to your blade. I'm gonna give you some blade advice. Let's see if you get a good blade. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Let's go, Kobe. Nice. I like that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, wait. It's just a reset here. Okay, cool. Okay. What the fuck is this? Bro, dude, dude. It's high noon, dude, check out this fucking high noon, dude. Check it out, dude. This is how I ult my games, dude. Let's go. If you get tilted, I'll fuck your mic, dude. Okay. He fat figured, yeah, I know. It's funny though. Okay. So this is our first blade. This is our first blade. Okay, let's see. Okay. This blade is actually gonna be decent, but I'm gonna talk about ways that you could have made it way better. Only one ult in the whole round? Yeah. I'm gonna talk about ways in which you could have made this blade better, because there's several things that you did wrong in this blade, and I knew you were gonna do some yeah. I knew you were gonna do some stuff wrong with this blade because it echoes your play, the same mistakes. So if we go back here, once again, I have to talk about this deflect usage because we're not trying to get any cheeky damage off with deflect. We're not trying to deflect sleeps. We're not trying to randomly have people kill themselves. This is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to use it to help us engage more aggressively and help our engagements. So as an example, this cast is isolated. If we dash at this cast and have our deflect to keep us alive, or maybe deflect his damage when we go in at him, that's a good use of deflect. But randomly using it when you're behind your team, when both, like, you're here, you're fine. We're just using it randomly. And this is the other part, is when you go in for a blade, this is when you really, really need deflect for these bad situations. So like when we go in here, not only do we, there's multiple things that we did wrong here. First off, you got to remember that you get a second dash back if you pop blade, right? So we could dash in and then pop blade and have another dash, so we can have an extra free 50 damage and a way to get us in close. Because as is now, we're basically just, we're popping this without actually taking advantage of the second free dash. That's the first thing. The second thing is we're going in at targets, 2 targets that have things that we need to deflect to keep us alive. We can get slept, we can get naded, we can get stuck with a grenade, and we're going just at them without a deflect. That, like, this should never work. Against a good cast, against a good Ana, this blade would absolutely never work. Because we're right here. Let me even look at their point of view. This guy has grenade. I guess he just didn't stick you. This Ana has both of her cooldowns. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Okay, they do try, but I don't know. They could have just naded the floor and stuck you with the grenade, and y'all would have just died. Mills, I'm going to ask Junkrat for a VOD review. He almost got pinned by the Rhine. Yeah. So anyways, you end up killing. You do kill like multiple people in this blade, but 100%. Oh god, 100%. This blade should have never worked, and we set ourselves up for failure here.
No such thing.
Anonymous gifter with a tier 1 sub. Anonymous gifter. That is the first time I've seen that. Anonymous gifter. Thank you so much. That's not someone's name, is it? Is that someone's name? Or is that like an anonymous gifter? I don't even fucking know how that is, but thank you so much. But yeah, okay. I think we kind of harped on this point a little bit enough. A lot of the mistakes that you're making are kind of echoed throughout this whole VOD. I have a million things I could go into detail on about Genji, but we're gonna move on and go to a different VOD. But if you want to follow up, of course we can talk about that later. Anyways, it's not me. I am poor. Okay, Junkrat.